maybe you can't conquer the big fear, but maybe you can conquer something that you kind of been afraid to do. Maybe it's public speaking, which is the number one fear in the world. Maybe, like I said, maybe it's a fitness journey. Maybe it's a spiritual journey. Maybe it's going on a date because you're so fearful that there's nobody good in the world because of your past. Maybe it's going on a date with somebody. 85% of our fears never become reality. That's true, man. Like, our worries never really happen for the most part. 85%, I would definitely say, I would even say probably 95%. Like, our worries, our doubts, all that negative energy that we experience and we have, those things never ever happen. And we sit there and we worry about it. We sit there and we stress about it. And then stress overtakes our lives and we just live in stress. We breathe stress. We become stress. And so you got to let go of those things, man. And that's why I do certain things. Like, people ask, like, why are you running a marathon? Or why are you doing this? Or why do you do that? Or why do you do stuff like crazy stuff? People call it crazy stuff. And I tell them because I'm always working on my mental. Always. Like, the physical is just the byproduct. You know what I'm saying? But I'm always working on my mental. I'm always working on my spiritual. Because I know these things become very contagious. I know how easy it is for habits to be formed. You know, positive is a little bit harder to form positive habits because it takes a while. But even in negative habits, I know negative habits in certain areas of your life can be contagious to other areas of your life. And then you wake up one day and you're something that you don't want to be. Or you have a mindset, you say, where did this come from? How was this mindset formed? It's the small things that we ignore or we don't value in our lives. The small fears, right? The saying no to things you know you should say yes to, right? The opportunities you know you should say yes to. And I want you to be have discernment about certain opportunities. I'm not telling you to say yes to every opportunity for your life because some opportunities aren't meant for your life. But there's certain things that you know for a fact is for you. You just talk yourself out of it. You just talk yourself out of it because you're afraid of failing. You're afraid of being embarrassed. You're afraid of being judged. Like, those are the three things that keep people. Like, I want y'all to understand, like, the fear is a word, right? Fear is like, I don't know. Fear is like the tree or the branches or the leaves, whatever. But there's root things, right? That's deeper than like the fear of what? And if you really evaluate your life and you really take time to understand how your life is operated, how you operate life, how you think, why you do certain things, like I always tell you, ask yourself the question, why? That's something I always ask myself. Why am I afraid to do this? And I evaluate it, man. Like, if you ain't going to, like, you know what's crazy to me is that we will spend time, like, evaluating other people's lives. We will spend time, like, doing things that have no benefit to our lives. We worry about people in sports. We do all these evaluations with everybody else. We know everybody else's stats. We know what everybody else is doing. But when it comes to our own lives, we don't spend no time evaluating ourselves. That makes no absolute sense to me at all. At all. And so take time to evaluate your life. Take time to understand your habits. Take time to understand why you have certain routines. Take time to understand, why you think the way you think. And a lot of times with fear, it's the fear of those three things. Like, we're so afraid to be embarrassed. So we'll be like, well, if I mess up, then I'm not going to look perfect. I'm not going to be perfect. And people are going to have a certain way about me, or I feel a certain type of way about me. So I'm just not going to do it at all. I'm just not going to do it at all. Or if I pursue another relationship, and I'm not telling you guys to just go pursue relationships if you haven't healed yet, because healing is key before you ever step into a new relationship. But for some of us out there, we've had failed relationships and we're so afraid. Like, it might be a person that we believe is great, right? They have the standards, they have, everything that we believe that would be good for our lives. But we never take that a step further because we're afraid, like, what if this fails? And now I'm looking like, I'm looking like a person that has another relationship failed. And so I'd rather just not pursue anything. I'd rather keep my heart closed and cold than become a failure again because I'm so afraid of what people think, man. Like, forget living in that prison. Like, you got to get out that mindset. Forget what people think. Like, and I know it's easier said than done, but who cares? Who cares? It's your life. It's your life at the end of the day. Let's get it.